You sure the helmet doesn't make me look fat? All right, we'll go with that. Okay. All right, welcome back to another exciting episode of the pandemic lockdown here. Got something new for you today. We're doing a little bit of remote filming because apparently from the feedback, the editing, the camera, hopefully the microphone outside, it's all working much better. I need to upgrade or update my vaccine. I'm just not sure. I keep reading so much stuff that the vaccine is not permanent, so I'm going to go get another one. I do feel better with that, knowing that I'm doing everything I can do to protect myself. I'm going to go for a little motorcycle ride and see a couple other things around Cebu because we're here in the Philippines. It's time to enjoy it. Just because we're in lockdown, just because there's a pandemic, just because it seems like all of the governments and all the large companies are trying to destroy us, doesn't mean we can't have a good time. So we're going to go for a little ride, and remember, safety first on a motorcycle. I'm dressed for the slide, not the ride. So we're geared up, helmet, proper shoes, jacket, and gloves. Follow me, and of course I've got the mask because that is required anywhere in the Philippines, at all, even on a motorcycle. Need a mask. All right, follow me. All right, here we are in Fuente Circle. The guy that had my vaccine was right over here, but I don't see him. And now we're going up to the overpass here, the pedestrian bridge, just to look at traffic. I did manage to find a vaccine, thankfully. It was a different guy, but had the same stand. He was selling oranges, though. Oranges and vaccine, kind of weird, but boy, I was getting a little edgy. It was quite a relief to have the vaccine. It really is a short-term vaccine, I guess. It's not going to be a lifetime vaccine, I guess. Well, it might be a lifetime vaccine. I might need to get it all the time. But here's Fuente Circle. This is like a big roundabout, very large diameter, and very confusing, crazy to drive on the motorcycle. Now again, the microphone wasn't working, so I'm just overdubbing this. There was a lot of traffic noise and honking, and the honking is hard to describe. But you'll see, and it's hard to see, the camera doesn't really pick it up. These cars coming in at 90 degrees across this roundabout. Not real smooth, but you get used to it. I did see a roundabout bigger than this in Madrid, and they were going faster and smoother. But okay, here we are on the top. I've got my mask on. There's the microphone that isn't working. It's actually on a spatula. I put it on there because that was what I had. And I'm actually starting to make a cooking vlog. And we'll put a link to that if we ever get around to making that. That's really more of my long-term goal. Maybe lower likelihood of being banned by Facebook right away, or whoever this is, Google, YouTube. But see all the people walking by, they all have masks and face masks and the shields. These shields, people walk around in the stores with them up like that. Even the security guard will tell me I have to put my face shield on. But it's okay to wear it like that where it does no good. It's just as long as you're all pretending. As long as we're all pretending, that's good enough. But then we're going to take a little look over here. Okay, there I am talking about getting the vaccine. And here's some more traffic. Not much traffic. It's Saturday today, so it's a little slower than normal. And not that busy. But it is, a lot of stuff is still locked down. A lot of stores closed. But the Filipinos are very resilient people. If they don't snap right back economically, they'll just get used to a little bit less rice, a little bit less food, a little bit more government. Okay, now we're going to go take the camera over here, look down the street. Something unique here that I like. I'm not sure if the camera's really, hey, who's that handsome guy? Oh, that's me. Okay. If you look here, you can see the traffic light, and there's a counter. It has a green number on it. That counts down how long it's going to be green. And then it turns red. It counts to tell you how long it's going to be red, which is kind of handy. And I've seen them up to 240 seconds, which is a long wait. What is that, like a minute and a half? I'm not really that good at math. Yeah, that's a minute and a half, I think, 240 seconds. So now here I'm thinking, I would normally just take a right, do a U-turn, and take a left, and make it through the red light. It's apparently not illegal to do a U-turn, but And you'll see buses doing U-turns in a street like this and blocking the entire road, and taxi cabs all the time. And now here, if you look there, the B, that's Jollibee up there on the top, the red sign. That is the Jollibee, the famous Philippine fast food restaurant. One of the only companies that beat McDonald's. They have more locations and sell more burgers than McDonald's in the Philippines. And there's another Jollibee just 100 yards from that Jollibee. And then if we look over here, across Fuente Circle, you can see Robinson's Mall. There's another Robinson's Mall just to our left. This overpass pedestrian bridge goes to it. But there's a Jollibee in there. And there's a Jollibee about a half a kilometer down the road. And actually in Manila, I was at an intersection. I could see 5 Jollibees from where I was standing. They're just everywhere, and I don't know how, but they're always busy. They have hamburgers or yum burgers, fried chicken, and spaghetti. And it's Philippine spaghetti. It's very sweet tomato sauce with hot dogs on noodles that have been cooked for at least 6 hours, it seems. But it's delicious, and we don't say anything about Jollibee. Better here to criticize the Catholic Church than Jollibee. But Jollibee is it's like the pride of the Philippines. And then the guy that owns Jollibee also owns a pizza chain, a bakery, and Chinese restaurant, Chinese fast food, and they're also just everywhere. Very successful. All right. Oh, here we are still. This is really hard to overdub. I guess you're supposed to have a script, but okay, this is just more pictures of me, and I know I read the comments, you just like to look at me, so we'll leave that up there. Nice hand gesture. I'm pointing at something there and talking about it. And now I'm not pointing, but I'm still talking about it. And I can't remember what I said, but I'm sure it was interesting. And I'm sure that was interesting there. I just can't remember what it was. It certainly look authoritative. Okay, and that's it. All right, we just up here, just a little bit up in the mountains, more hills than mountains. A view here. Camera's not really picking it up, and I was kind of too lazy to go farther to get a little better spot for a view. I was kind of a little shaky after the vaccine. I feel great, but didn't want to drive the bike too far. But see some cars, some motorcycles here, a lot of motorcycles, and the road. That road is all hand-poured cement, mixed by the bag, poured as it goes. We'll take a video of that sometime next time we see it. We're back, just taking a little stop here in one of the local barangays. This is a road I travel up quite a bit. Beautiful, kind of endless roads here. And I was told that they do vaccines here, but don't really need one. I'm feeling pretty good. I just got my other one when we were back in Mango Square. Got my booster. But I stopped here. This is just, if we can see here, if I'm in a gymnasium, maybe run the camera up into the air to see that. It's a building, it's the size of a basketball court. They don't have basketball hoops here, but maybe they have some they can put out. And pretty much every barangay will have a gymnasium, almost everyone. And it's just, a barangay is just a political subdivision, kind of a neighborhood. And they have their own elected officials. But the road, you can see the road runs right through here and then pan out here. And it just goes right out there. That's fairly common to see that. And I guess it saves on the cement or saves on the whatever. But, and I've driven through here where they're playing basketball. So they must have basketball or they're playing something. Who knows what they're doing. But you can see the cars pass through. So it makes it always interesting, and now always the Filipinos always happy, smiling. A lot to learn here from the attitude. They may not have as much as what we're used to in the U.S., but generally speaking, happy.
and really love and welcome Americans. You can see here there's their barangay bus, Barangay Budlan, and they have their own vehicle that is supported by the tax dollars and whatever else, who knows. But pretty quiet today. We saw some chickens here. There's a little lottery outfit, looks like a telephone booth, but you see those everywhere. The lottery only the government can run, just like in the US. But we're going to carry on a little bit further, or actually we're going to head back to a nice spot for a view so you can see the city of Cebu from the mountains. And we here right now, it's quiet, fresh air, clean. We're up in the mountain a bit. It's cooler. And I think it's a 10 or 15 minute motorcycle ride from Cebu, from IT Park, which is like one of the centers of Cebu. It's where if you ever call your credit card company and you can't get an answer on what's going on, that's where the phone call goes to, is IT Park. So kind of be polite to those people. They're not going to answer your question, but that's not their fault. That's because your credit card company doesn't want them to answer your call. They just want to stay on the phone until you give up, and then leave them alone for another year before you call back again. But you can see there was 3 people on a motorcycle. We'll get a little bit of footage here from the road just to look at. Hopefully the microphone's working, by the way. We had a little issue with that. All righty. All right, we're back. Once again, we didn't go, did we? But just taking another, here's a nice view. This is actually not Cebu. This is Mandawi, which is just north of Cebu. Cebu City would be to this way, and there's a little mountain here, a little hill blocking it. But that would be IT Park, which is basically where we started, and we headed up the National Highway just a couple miles. But we're this close to Cebu City, and it's like a different world. It's almost in the province, and the province is just the rural area. That's everything that's not a city they refer to as the province. But I've got a travel ventilator, thankfully. I do make do, but I don't do without. So we've got the travel ventilator also. Thank goodness for that. It allows me to get out of the house a bit, but just enjoying the view, and it's much cooler here than in the city, fresh air. And if we look down here, we can see we were talking yesterday's edition about corn. Can we move the camera down here right where I'm pointing? You can just see a little tiny cornfield, and that's a very small one, but that's how they grow the corn here. It might be, 5 or 10 times that big, some of them. But then if we pan back over here, hopefully the corn even shows up. But if we pan back over here, just to try to show people the scale of an American cornfield. Okay, bring the video back over here where it was. An American cornfield would literally be from where we are, out past those buildings, to Mactan Island, which is that first island you can see. It's hard to even see the separation, but there's an airport there. That would be the corn. And then there'd be another field that big, and then another field, and another all the way up to Canada. And they might even have them into Canada. I don't know. I'm not sure if Canada grows corn, if they've got that technology. But I'm assuming, I'm pretty sure they've got, by now, that in Canada they've got electricity and all that kind of stuff that we take for granted in America. Any Canadian viewers, well, if you have internet in Canada and are able to see this, leave me a comment and tell me if Canada looks more like this, or if it looks more like the U.S. If you've got roads and cars and stuff like that, I'm assuming probably do at some level. But that's about it. We're going to probably head back to the studio for the wrap-up. It's a little tough here. Even with the travel ventilator, just doesn't really do enough. But I tell you, it's better than nothing. I'm not complaining. And it's great to get out of the house a bit. Because tomorrow is Sunday, that's lockdown. Our whole barangay is locked down on Sunday. For some reason, I guess they figured the virus only spreads on Sundays in Guadalupe barangay. So it's safe the rest of the time. But we're going to just take the motorcycle, head back down the hill. I might put a couple still pictures of just some of the unique stuff here, because it's very interesting. It's always interesting, and I try not to take for granted how different it is. and enjoy it. All right, well, we're going to head back to the studio to finish up the wrap-up. Probably it's much easier. I'm not even sure if the microphone's working, but we will see. Well, actually, let me do one of the sign-offs like I see all the other bloggers doing. Okay. And we'll get back with you later. All right, did that turn it off? I don't even know. There should be isn't there like a light? I remember Donald Trump always saying, oh, look at the red lights turn off. That means they're turning the cameras off. There's no red light. I guess it's off.